What's up, Tube? Welcome back to Loguido's Chop Shop, your one-stop, non-stop shop of classic chop. We have today another 3D printing video, just because I was 3D printing something and it didn't quite turn out. And this is the piece that I was printing. It's just a piece of rail for a blaster, and this happened. I don't know if you've come across this before when 3D printing, but every now and then you get something that just doesn't quite turn out how you planned. And you could scrap the whole part, but I mean, it's 90% okay. It's just, you know, this bit that's, you know, not, well, it's crap. To be honest, it's unusable. That section, completely wasted. So I got a bit of a tip that I use, a technique that I use to fix this sort of thing up. And so here's my tip. You need to get yourself one of these. This is a 3D pen, and you can get them, I got this one from Jaycar, but you can get like the exact same thing for probably a quarter of the price on AliExpress, and they're all pretty much the same thing, just a cheap generic 3D pen. You feed your filament in the back, and it's just got some buttons for speeds and feeds and stuff. And all I'm going to do, I'm going to clean this up a bit, and then I'm just going to 3D pen in my fix. Alright, first things first, it's a bit nasty, so I'm going to hack in with a Dremel. Just really get it down to business. Just take off that nasty stuff. Alright, so now that I've taken away most of the nasty stuff there, I'm going to get my 3D pen and I'll build it up. Alright, now in my case I've got actually a little bit of rail here that I want to keep. So I've got a scrap of aluminium. I'm just going to line up with what I think is the end of where the rail spot should go, and then I'm just going to start penning on the inside of that, and that'll give me a spot to stop at least. Now I'm going to try and, on the surface that I'm attaching to, I'm going to try and keep the pen there to get quite hot so that it melts in, you know, and gets good adhesion to the original part. So let's just start there. I'm going to continue on here. While my blobs are still hot, I'm just going to push it against that aluminium that way and that way, so that I can, while it's still warm, I can, you know, roughly get those angles that I'm looking for. And then if it's a bit blobby in areas, I can always get the Dremel out again and give it a bit of a touch with the Dremel. And then if there's any spots that you've missed or you need to add a bit more, just get your pen, extrude a bit more filament in there, print sand, print sand, print sand, repeat. If you're like me and you've got some flat surfaces to work against, you can use that block sanding technique that I mentioned in my previous 3D print finishing video, and you can get all your edges lined up with the other surfaces. And with a little bit of just a little bit of patience, a bit of sanding, a part that was otherwise kind of ruined or kind of useless will now work quite well. And that, you know, at the moment that's just fairly rough sanded. It's not incredibly pretty, but it's a damn sight better than what it looked like originally, and that will serve my purpose. And for this particular part, for what it's worth, it doesn't actually get seen anyway because it goes in there. But yeah, I think that's sufficient. And if you are particularly worried about the cosmetics of it, you can always you can paint and fill and prime and get that surface looking real nice and smooth. Alright, that's it. Just a quick tip. I wanted to bring it up earlier on when I was doing some 3D printing tips, but it just didn't happen. Didn't need to, so I thought next time I get a print that kind of fails partially, or I need to 3D pen a bit, I'll make a video for you. And here's the 3D pen. I'll put a link to where you can pick one up real cheap on AliExpress. Like, so cheap, they're practically throwaway items. If you've got a 3D printer and you don't have a 3D pen, you probably should get one, because they're a handy tool to have. Not just for the fun part of it if you do have kids, but like just for handy for fixing little bits and pieces. Even handy for like completely fabricating a new piece if you need to quickly fab a new piece onto another part or something. I mean, obviously the easiest way to do this is just to set your 3D printer up and 3D print the new piece. But, you know, sometimes under certain circumstances, just penning one out is convenient. Alright, thanks for watching. Don't forget you can hit my face page up, buy a patch from me, or you can buy me a coffee down in the link below if that floats your boat. Thanks for your support. Shout outs to those who have bought me coffees. Shout outs to John H. Shout outs to Adam Hoy. And shout outs to Rip. Peace.